Just sitting up here
Listen.
talking.
All right, the meeting is, hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Welcome. Is somebody, can I get somebody to open this up in prayer?
Marilyn. I'm writing down the names. But are y'all ready?
Well, I can't pray. It's just hard to pray right now.
Okay. Lord, we thank you for this day, a day we've never seen before and never will see again. We thank you for allowing us to come together as a group tonight to have the Sandtown Community Association meeting. We hope and we ask that the things that we talk about tonight will be in accord with what we would like to see in our communities, what we would like to do. We thank you for our leaders for taking the time out to come and to share with us things that are going on in our community. We ask that you just be with us and let us have a good meeting tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. Glad that you all have joined us today. Do we have any fire, police representation on today?
Yeah, this is Assistant Chief Glenn Washington. So I'm here with for fire.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome. Well, you are up.
I'm up. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank y'all for inviting me to your community meeting. So I'll just put the question out there. What is it that y'all would like to know about the fire service and what we have going on? Anything in specific?
Does anyone have any specific questions?
Yeah, can we burn leaves?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the burn ban it's lifted now. The only thing I can really want to really touch on is that just remember you have to get a burn permit from the what is it?
State.
Yeah, from the state.
From the state.
And you have to go online to get it.
So we back to that again. Burn permit from the state. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So is that just a revenue generator, or is that a safety precaution? You got to pay for the permit?
Nope.
No, the permit is free. They just want to make sure that it's not for any kind of revenue benefits, but it's real simple. You just go in there, put what you're burning, the time of day that you're going to burn, and how much you're going to burn, and you can print out your receipt.
Permit.
Well, not your receipt, but your
Permit.
your burn permit right then and there.
So when you say go there, do you mean physically go to a building, or this can be done by online method?
Yes, this is done online. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other questions? Sir, do you have any updates, anything you want to tell us about?
Let's see. So we have 18 recruits in school now that should be graduating at the beginning of the year. We have a new truck that will be going in service at Station 6 at the beginning of the year, as well as our hazmat will also be going in service too as well. We're also working on a Swiftwater dive team. And what else do we have going on? We're actually in the process of doing interviews so we can hire another additional 30 firefighters. So we're trying to get our staffing up to the national level. We want 4 on each apparatus. So that's what we're diligently working on right now.
You said the station is Station 6. I mean, I don't know about the rest of the members, but that means nothing to me. Can you tell me where the location of Station 6 is?
Yes, ma'am. Station 6 is off of Cascade Palmetto. And it sits in between South Fulton Parkway and I can't think of the other road right now, but it's near Cascade Palmetto Parkway.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the fire department?
Is there a new chief?
The head fire chief.
Yes, who's the head chief?
Head
the
chief
fire
is
department?
Chief Chad Jones is the fire
Oh,
chief.
it's still okay. It's still Chief Jones. Okay.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
thanks.
Now we got a new deputy chief, but he's been here almost a year now, and that's Chief Jerome Bird.
Okay, John Bird. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All righty, let's see, we got, well, thank you so much for attending.
Yes, ma'am. No,
And- Go ahead.
no, I'm saying thank you for inviting me.
Okay, all righty. Anybody from police? All right, we will move on. Miss Warren, are you available?
I am. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
It's almost.
Hello,
How are you guys tonight?
fabulous.
We
So,
we dealing.
well,
Well, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say I'm just still in a shock.
yes, ma'am. Yes.
Mhm.
So we are, I'm going to give you one update and then I'm going to open the floor for any questions that you guys have. Right now in Fulton, we are really working hard. You may have heard on the news, there's talk to close 2 elementary schools, one in Sandy Springs, one in East Point. The reasoning is declining enrollment in those areas. We have not made a decision yet. It will come in February. At my community meeting last month, I had JC Sebastian and Mayor Vince Williams. It was down at Renaissance Elementary School, and we talked about development. And on this side of the Creekside, Langston, and Westlake cluster, we have a lot of development, a lot of new homes being built. And so we really went over how our department works with their planning department to look at future developments and how do we plan for those and how that comes about. Our next enrollment every year, we get someone who comes in front of the district, our department, Ms. Ingrid Huff. Many of you guys may have known her. She's been in the district for 30 years. Every March, they come and bring us new numbers, and those are forecasted based on permits that have been approved, planned developments, and whatnot. And so in March 2025, which seems like a long time off, but we're almost at January, we will have another meeting where we will invite the municipalities to have plans of developments that are coming, but also to present what we have on our development. It's a very intricate process, and we do work with all the municipalities from Johns Creek to Union City to City of South Fulton to East Point to get those numbers. So that's where we're at right now. We are, of course, are about to go into Thanksgiving break. And so right now, many of our principals are just trying to make sure that we are cognizant of not only know what happened up in North Georgia, paying attention to possible school threats, but also just trying to make sure that the kids close out the year in a safe way with their grades or whatnot. I want to open the floor like Fire did for any questions that you guys may have that may be about that or may not be about that. But right now the schools are really trying to get through to December.
Fabulous. Are there any questions for Ms. Warren? All righty, Ms. Warren. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I want to say this, we have several, and I will post them on my social media and I can also send them to Ms. Davis. We have several concerts coming up. If you want to hear good music from students from Sandtown, all the way to Westlake, all the way to the elementary schools, I'll put that on there. My next community meeting will be in 2 weeks on a Monday at Sandtown Middle School. Please come out and come. We will have a panel that's going to talk about vaping and edibles, just for parents to kind of know what's happening and what we're seeing as a nationwide trend and how they can protect their kids and let them know. Please come, we'll have dinner served and we welcome everybody there.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, God, vaping and edibles. You're dealing with that, huh?
Yeah, and it's getting
Mhm.
younger and younger. And one of the things that we try to caution parents is know what's in your child's backpack, but also they're getting them from Amazon. So
Hmm.
making sure, yes, so there are sellers on Amazon that will sell the synthetic. And what we've told parents is to watch the kids' carts. Don't let them order anything. Don't let them order something and it go to someone else's house. And so just really staying on top of it. And your kid's not taking anything that wasn't prescribed to them by a doctor or buying anything from their classmates. And honestly, what we're seeing is after school, kids are ordering things, getting things sent to people's houses, taking them or bringing them, trying to bring them to school. And this is North and South. This is everywhere.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, gee. Mm. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Miss
Debbie,
Warren. Go
Debbie,
ahead.
do we usually put into the our meeting notice about when the school board meetings are going to be? If we have not, could we put that in there?
Yeah. You mean on our agenda?
No, just, I don't know. Well,
You
maybe
want to post
Hunter
them
sends
up?
it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes people might would come
Yes,
if
ma'am.
they knew when the meeting was going to be. That's all I was saying. And sometimes we need reminders.
Yeah, I can send you the dates that they are, and then we already have our community meetings planned out. I'll send you the dates, but it's always the Monday after our work session. So you guys are welcome. And if you don't, I know it's getting dark earlier, you can always watch online also. And then if you have a question, you can always email me and ask me, and I'll get to you for sure.
Well, I guess I meant the community meeting. I guess how many times will you meet in this community in a school year? Is it just once?
I'll be always meet at Westlake, always meet at Sandtown. So I meet either 2 to 3 times because it's always going to be an elementary school. And I'll put those in the chat right here, right now too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Yes, ma'am.
If the council ladies don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and ask DR Horton to present, and then they can give their updates afterwards, if that's okay. So is Michelle, are you good with that?
Yeah, I have a 7:30 though, but I think we'll be okay.
Okay. Michelle, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good evening.
Okay. Good evening. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do I have the ability to share a presentation?
Harvey can give it to you.
Okay, let's just see how this works. I believe that you are now seeing it.
Yes.
Let me get started here. Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle McCauley. I work with Gaskins LaCroix. It's our pleasure to be here before you tonight. I am going to be making a presentation on a project called Woodbury Park. Along with me in the meeting tonight are representatives from D.R. Horton. We have Mr. Bruce Rippon, Miss June Yell, Mr. Ryan Walker, and Mr. Perry Warren. So we're going to make a presentation. At the end, we have the whole gamut of staff here today to help you and answer any questions you may have. So I'll just start with the presentation. Let's see if it's going to go here for me. There we go. So this is Woodbury Park we're talking about, which is a new project that is currently under development in Sandtown. It is 114 single-family attached homes that we expect to be offered for sale in the first quarter of 2025, so the beginning of the next year. Here is an aerial image showing Woodbury Park. So Woodbury Park is right here, highlighted here in yellow. This is Campbellton Road. This is Riverside and Fulton Industrial. This project adjoins a community called Story Riverside. This is an apartment community that's right down here in Campbellton. There's a Publix right here. We adjoin 5 large warehouses that have access off Fulton Industrial. And then this project is called Anthem at Riverside. This is a senior apartment community, and then these are apartments here. So this is Woodbury Park that we're here to talk about tonight. So this project, Woodbury Park, is part of a much larger master plan community that was approved back in, it started in 2016, but it was approved in 2017, just as the city of South Fulton was coming into incorporation. So here's Woodbury Park. It was townhomes. It's always been planned for townhomes on this site. It was approved for 126 townhomes. The project now is 114, so it's less dense. Originally, this property here to the south and west, where the apartments are, Story Riverside, this was originally shown for a commercial shopping center. And a few years ago, it came back through the city council, and that zoning case was modified for apartments. The 5 warehouses have always been planned since 2016. And then that senior community here was just off the property, but this is a larger community that was approved back in 2017. This is the site plan that was approved. We got a land disturbance permit back in 2021 from the city of South Fulton. So this shows you the layout of the 114 homes. It's probably a little easier to see here. This is a color rendering that shows you all of the 114 lots. These will be for sale, fee simple ownership. Each owner will own their own lot on which their townhome sits. There are 2 access points. Here is the southern entrance, which is at the intersection here with Plummer Road. And then the northern entrance, which is, so as you come up Riverside, this is heading towards Fulton Industrial. Here is a picture of the entrance monument as it was designed. There will be 2 entrance monuments. So here's the northern entrance design. The sign is here. And then this project has extensive landscaping along Riverside Drive. So this is what it looks like in an landscape architect's view. And here it is as it is installed now. So if you've driven past this in your community, you will see this rock monument sign. The only thing that's missing here and has not been installed yet is the actual community name, which is Woodbury Park. And then this is the southern entrance. So this is at Plummer Road. The monument sign is here. Again, here's all this landscaping. And here it is as it's been installed. So there's the sign and the landscaping. And again, the monument, the name has not been put up yet for the community. So this project has quite extensive landscaping that'll be along Riverside Drive. This is all in the plan view. You will see that this will act sort of a buffer for these homeowners these future homeowners whose backyards will face or join Riverside Drive. And then also as you drive along Riverside, it's going to be very pretty. Here's a picture of what it's been installed. It's about 90% installed right now, but you can see it has a mix of deciduous trees and evergreen. So as it'll be a year-round landscape. And these will mature and it's going to be quite attractive as you drive along Riverside Drive along this community. With that, I'm going to introduce June Yell with D.R. Horton. She's going to talk to you a few moments about the actual architectural elements of the future townhomes. So June, if you want to just speak, and then I'll just forward slides as you ask.
Sure. Thank you, Michelle. We had met with your group earlier in the year, and some of the feedback that we received was that the original designs that we had presented, there was an ask to have a little bit more architectural detail on the sides of the units and a little bit more masonry. So we took that feedback and we're utilizing more of our elevations that have full first floor masonry. So what you're looking at here on the top is what the model building is going to look like. So this is the building that's going to be when you first come into the southern entrance. It'll be on your right. And you'll notice we've got several of the elevations that have the first floor, if I can speak, first floor brick. And then we've got other elevations that are mixed in there that have a water table associated with it. Each of these units is going to look unique because it's going to have its own paint scheme. So when you look at the building, it's not going to be monochromatic. You're not going to be wondering and trying to tell which house is which. You'll also notice too, because there is a little bit of topography on the site, that we do have roof breaks. So you'll see that from the first house to the second house, there is a difference in terms of the elevation of the house itself. On the sides, we put some board and batten on the top, primarily because, as Michelle was talking about, we have a lot of landscaping that's going in around Riverside. So we wanted the architectural detail to be someplace that people could see it, versus trying to put more architectural detail toward the bottom of the side elevation. Michelle, if you can go to the next slide. So this is our floor plan. These are all 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage houses. There's approximately 1,418 square feet. So this is the type of home that's perfect for either your first-time home buyer. It could be a young family with just starting out, maybe no children yet, or maybe a young child, or a roommate situation. So there's lots of opportunity for people to be able to move into a home like this. Next slide, please. So these are some pictures. This actually isn't this particular community, but it's another community where we're building a similar plan. You will notice that on the one that we're showing here, it does not have the board and batten in the gable. That is something special that we're doing for this particular community. So when you look at the elevation, you'll notice that that is not there. But the picture next to the exterior of the homes is the primary bedroom. Notice it's a nice size. That's actually a king size bed in there. So there's plenty of room in that bedroom. The next slide is, the next picture is of one of the secondary bedrooms. And then down below is our main living area and kitchen. So it's got a nice peninsula as a part of the kitchen with some eating areas for it. There also is, in the center picture, you can see there is a dining area as well for a dining table. And then we have a nice sized living room area in there as well. It's got this particular model had a full size sectional in there, and there was plenty of room. So this is going to be a really nice layout for, as I'd mentioned, young families or singles or couples to live in. Next slide, please.
I'm going to go ahead and show the video.
Terrific.
To run.
How many baths you said?
2.5 baths.
It's 2.5 baths.
That's a nice size condo.
So the two, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular video that you're watching, that happens to be a model home in another city. But we felt like they did a nice job in showing off all of the rooms in the house.
They have washer dryer connections, right?
Yes, they do. They have they actually have a laundry room. So it's not a laundry closet. It's actually a laundry. And yes, it has the connections right in there.
Okay. I guess go ahead. Who's talking?
Did you say that the model that we were looking at was for another property?
The video was from another community. Yes, we don't have any of our buildings up yet because we have not gotten our final plat approved here yet.
Okay,
So
well, how do we know that Woodbury's is going to look like what you're showing us for the Pearson?
Because this is what we're going to be building here.
This is the same floor plan. So the Pearson, the video we just showed is for the Pearson, which is the same product that's being built in Woodbury. So these interiors will be the same interiors that will be built in Woodbury Park.
The only different thing that we have done in the Pearson for this particular community is we've enhanced the exterior. So if you actually Googled D.R. Horton Pearson floor plan, and you could watch these videos on YouTube, and you could see other, other places where we build this and how it's merchandised in those areas. But
I don't know if everybody
this will
remember, we
be
had,
what you see. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's coming in and out, but I don't know if everybody remember, we had D.R. Horton had them here back in January. And they were telling us the concept of what they were planning to do and getting ideas from them. And from that meeting, several of us went online and was looking at, their website and all of that to give suggestions. And so, and when I saw where they're getting ready to start construction, we wanted them to come back to tell us what the final outcome of the floor plan would be.
Is there additional parking anywhere? She mentioned that there are one-car garages. Is there guest parking or additional parking if there was a roommate situation?
There is parking near the kiosk area. When you first come in, you can see it. Michelle just put it up. It's close to the southern entrance. Each of these units is going to have actually a 2-car driveway in front of it. So there'll be extra parking. So in addition to the 1-car garage where a vehicle could be stored, there'll be space for 2 vehicles in the driveway at a minimum.
So it's 3.
These driveways are pretty long.
It's off-street, 3 parking spaces for 3 cars off-street.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
And you said the parking pad will allow for how many more cars?
2 more.
2. Let me just go to show you.
And you say this is on Riverside near where Publix is,
Correct.
Riverside right next to Publix,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. I'm sorry, I
Going-
realized I was pointing to something on my screen, but I was looking at my
Maryland.
presentation on this screen.
Yeah.
You are
Maryland,
correct.
Actually, it's
It's
across
right by the
street.
Publix.
Is
Yeah,
it,
Correct.
it's across from where?
This
It's
is
right
Publix
up-
right here. I'm sorry.
yeah. It's right, when you go out when you come in Publix from Camp Creek, I'm sorry, Hamilton Road, go toward
make-
the Publix, and you make a left and go out the back driveway.
Yes.
You turn right,
And
and
it's going down
it's-
toward Fulton Industrial.
it's right there. It's not, once you turn right, you will see it, and you see all the green posts that are there, and it's all the way down Riverside, right there.
Until you
So
get to
you'll
Fulton.
see it as soon as you make that right.
Okay,
It
so
doesn't make it to Fulton Industrial.
because we got the senior citizens down at Fulton Industrial and
Right.
Riverside.
Yes,
Right.
that's right here. This is the Anthem Riverside. This is the senior apartments. And so as you come out of Publix, like Ms. Davis said, you would
You're
turn right.
right.
and It's almost immediately on your left.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would continue driving up Riverside to get to that senior apartments here. And then Fulton Industrial is just slightly off the screen. It's right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How much traffic is that going to generate on that little 2-lane road?
Well, as part of the land disturbance permit, we had to do traffic generation numbers, and I do not have them. But I can tell you as a part of that review process, we had multiple conversations with Shakira Johnson, who's a city engineer, and Antonio Valenzuela, who's a public works director. This community will have 2 points of access, so that if something was to happen internal, that they would have more than one way to get out. But all the improvements that were approved as part of the land disturbance permit came out of that process of discussion. So city staff and us as the developers feel very confident that this will be a safe community for you to enter, exit, and will not negatively impact Riverside Drive.
I'm just curious to know why didn't you all plan for a two-car garage? Because you talked about maybe a family's first home if it's a couple.
You got
Uh,
two cars.
yeah, I mean most families have at least two cars. So I don't understand why you did not plan for a two-car garage versus just only for one.
Well, really, I mean, the way that we were looking at this community is this was a great opportunity to provide housing in an area that generally those buyers would be renting instead of purchasing. And especially with the rise in home prices of late, even the, just down the street, the Rockhaven community there, their two-story townhomes there are now in the low to mid threes. So this was an opportunity for us to provide housing opportunity ownership for people that they wouldn't normally be able to achieve.
What's the price point?
We're going to be selling these starting in the high 200s.
So that's still even though these are people who typically might have been renting, particularly at that price point, I could see a need for a two-car garage.
Mhm.
So June, what ends up happening is because you do have the need for two cars, it ends up looking junky because you have two people automatically that needs the cars and then you have the guests. So that's one of the challenges when there's a one-car garage. Do you have a number on how many guest parking would be available at the kiosks?
I don't off the top of my head, no. But I can tell you these driveways are substantial enough that they could definitely hold at least two cars in it. And then as well, we'd have the one-car garage where a car could be as well.
Can you check on the additional guest parking?
Absolutely.
Okay, and my other question is, what about the backyard? Are you all providing fencing, individual fencing for each townhome? How is that working?
We have what we do is we do a privacy panel between each of the homes. So they'll have a patio and then they'll have a privacy panel that would allow them to, not be able to see into their neighbor's next yard. The way that this site lays out, I know you can't see it on the plans at all, but the road is generally higher than where the buildings are going to be. So with all of the landscaping that we have back there, it's actually going to be very private, and especially the homes that are backing up to the woods on the other side of the street are going to have incredible backyards.
I'll go back to that.
Nice and private. There's a lot of wooded area that we kept in terms of the tree save. And then there's a creek behind that. So, I mean, they're going to have some very nice yards on that side. And then even the side that's on along Riverside, a part of the approval process in talking with the city and the county was they wanted to make sure that we had adequate and, extensive landscaping behind that. And that's part of why we put in there different heights. It's not all trees. There's some lower bushes, there's some evergreens that, magnolias and some other beautiful trees that are going to grow up. And that's going to allow for more private backyards, even on the houses that are going to back up to Riverside.
Do you know how much the HOA is going to be right now?
We have not gotten those numbers fully budgeted yet. But once we get the final plat, we'll have that all finished up. And so, we could certainly get back to you with that.
And no amenities, correct?
There's no amenities in the neighborhood. No, there are sidewalks in the neighborhood. And then, we've got great proximity to a lot of different activities that, the homeowners could partake in. Plus, I believe there's a plan in the future for some future improvements not far from this site.
Right, this is very close to the new park that was created in the city, the nature area. I'll go
Right.
back to the. Are
Right.
you familiar with what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
yes, very familiar.
Yeah, right here. That is right here.
Right, I know where it is.
Okay, great, thank you.
Did you all say there was going to be some extra parking somewhere else?
Yes, ma'am, it is in, there's some parking here in the in there, the mail kiosk. This is an open area here.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry. So that's there'll be some overflow parking in that area. Yes, ma'am.
So if you're visiting somebody all the way down on the other end, and you got to come all the way back down here for overflow parking, that would be a concern for me, because if it was Thanksgiving and I was getting ready to have my family over, and I might have 5 or 6 people coming in cars, do they park them on the street? If the overflow is not close to where I am and it's pouring out raining outside and they trying to bring in goodies and all this kind of stuff, I see that as sort of a problem. And I don't know, I'm always concerned about how wide these streets are, because if people have to park on each side of the street and there is an emergency and a fire engine or ambulance has to come through there, I'm always concerned, is there enough space between the cars parked on both sides of the street for the emergency vehicle to get to wherever it needs to go?
Right. I cannot give you the exact dimension. I'm not the engineer that can pull that right from the top of their head. I know that these streets are the standard street size for residential streets in the city of South Fulton. So that should be accommodated in the city standard for what residential street will width, but I don't have that off the top of my head. So
Because when I go over into, there's a particular, and it might be a DR Horton, I don't know. But I
okay.
just know when those folk, first of all, they got these 4 cars sitting in the driveway, and they got double garages. And the cars are hanging over the sidewalk, which is part of the, what's the thing for the driveway? I can't think of the
The
name.
apron or the
Curb.
Right, which is part of the apron, so they're hanging over. And then when the car's sitting out down the street and you trying to go through there, if they almost parallel to each other, you can't get a fire engine through there or ambulance either. You can all barely get a car through there sometimes.
You know, the presenter, this is a concern. You all won't be living there, but we have neighbors that will be living there.
yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Lee makes a very good point about the street. You may, I don't, sometimes the standard can be minimal, but we are expressing a concern to you.
Right, ma'am.
And it seems to me that I'd like to hear somebody say, you say if something is, I don't know, say 10 feet, and if you made it 2 more feet, that it would satisfy our concerns. I would like to think that someone will look into that and not just hear it and it goes in one ear, not the other.
I think there's Councilman Morale. I thought I saw your hand up.
Yes, thank you. My question, and this zoning predated me, so just bear with me. I know we have recently had other townhome approvals over the last couple of years. Some of them had also been approved under Fulton County Board of Commissioners. And one of the things we were able to talk about was some of these issues around overflow parking and amenities, especially because of the number of units. And so looking at this particular development, it would be nice, I do agree, to have some overflow because it's just common. I think, especially because you're going in a market where there's similar townhouse community up the street that not only has amenities, it has a swimming pool, a playground now, a tot lot. And they do have very long driveways in that community too. This is at Stonewall Tail and Camilton Road. I just think to even be, competitive, even though the prices are more, they offer a lot more because this has
literally no amenities and again, no overflow, even if it was just one area closer to each end of the entrance and exits, I think it would help.
Right.
A clubhouse might help too. Who knows? You know, you get ready to have a meeting with everybody in the community. Where do we go?
Right.
Where do we
Possibly a
meet?
gazebo and some benches around. You know, a clubhouse can be quite expensive, but
I don't
Yeah.
think, but most people are working during the daytime, so they're probably meeting at nighttime. I can't see anybody wanting that you would suggest going to a gazebo at nighttime to meet. That is insane and dangerous.
a gazebo in the daytime.
Okay, okay.
Well, most people are working in daytime, ma'am, to pay for those houses.
Let me just interject for just one moment. The conversation about meeting in a gazebo, that's not coming from anyone at D.R. Horton or myself. I believe that's someone else that's on the meeting. Just to make that point clear that
Okay.
we're not suggesting that. You know, there's lots of communities that are around the Atlanta metro area that don't have a clubhouse. Arrangements can be made for meetings within community meeting space that's available, or within a home, but that's not something that's included in this community. I should say that this community, we're at the very final stages of development. We're in the final plat process. So as a result of the conversations that we had back in January of this year, the plans have been set for this community for a couple of years. D.R. Horton has enhanced some landscaping and architectural treatments, but physical changes to the development are not going to be able to be made at this time because this project, the streets are in, all the underground infrastructure is in. So that we can't accommodate any those sorts of changes. We can't make the streets wider because the streets are there. But what we can do is explain to you how we got to this process and then talk to you about the changes that were made as a part of the community dialogue, which we appreciate, and we looked forward to coming back as we got to this step point, because we told you back in January that as we got ready to hopefully start building, that we would come talk to you. So I just want to put
Ms.
that.
McCollum, let me add, can I ask you what, Ms.
Certainly, yes,
Ms.
yes,
One
Councilwoman.
question. Again, and I understand that the streets are in. Is there no, and I'm gonna put it out there, is there no possibility that one of these, where one of these home units is, that it could not be overflow on this part that's closer, well, that's further away from Plummer Road, so that you could have some overflow parking?
Well, I can let the representatives from D.R. Horton speak to that as well. I mean, this community is planned and they have a certain number of units and that they have programmed for to bring online. So I don't believe that that is an option, but
I
Mr.
would
Rippon,
like
if
to
you
hear
want to
from the
speak to that.
developer. Would they consider
Sure.
that?
And,
Thank you.
and the other thing, well, we have a quality product because in the past, you know, D.R. Horton has skipped all over Georgia, north, south, east, and west, and everywhere he has gone, it's been a problem with some of the quality of the residences that he has built.
Okay.
Or they have built.
Sure. Let me
I
let
can tell
Mr.
you,
Rippon, Bruce, would you like to speak to the question about transitioning one of the lots into a parking area?
Sure. The structure and infrastructure and everything is already in place, and I don't anticipate going back and putting in any additional parking and reworking what we have now. This I think, as June had said, was designed for a certain component of the public, and I think we've met those needs. We certainly met all the needs of the city and the county involved in this proposal. So I don't anticipate we would do that. I just want to clarify, I'm a little confused about Horton. I don't want to be confused that D.R. Horton is the largest builder in the country, and I don't want to be confused with some local person named Horton, because we have communities all over the Atlanta metro area. So I'm not sure what the reference is to quality or anything like that. These products that we use in these. We use in the same products basically in all our housing, no matter what price range we're in. Obviously, the bigger houses cost more than the smaller ones, but the same level of quality is put in all of them.
I have a question. We were shown the interior for the way the rooms were laid out and just getting an idea of the size. And you said that property was the Pearson.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my question to you is this: where is it located? Does it have any of the amenities that we just
Yes.
or does it have any of the problems that we or concerns that we have brought to you? Because let's just face it, some builders put certain types in some neighborhoods, and that's acceptable. In other neighborhoods, they put a lesser product, and sometimes it's not that much of a difference in the price. So I just want to know about this Pearson, since you all presented it tonight, as to what does it have and where is it located?
Okay, the Pearson that we're going to build in this community is going to have the same materials and same what we call specifications as all of our other communities that have that we're building the Pearson. With the exception of what I had said, we're doing enhanced exterior elevations here. So when you look at the pictures, and I know it's tough because they're small pictures, but in the kitchen, we have granite countertops. We have, we have the microwave, the refrigerator, the dishwasher, the stove in there. We've got engineered wood material for the flooring.
Excuse me, I think you misunderstood what I was asking. In other words, this where you're okay. I assume that this Pearson here. This is not at Woodbury. Is that correct?
Correct. In fact, yes, this particular one where you're looking at pictures, this is a model home that we have in a community that's located in Rome. So it's in Georgia.
Okay. Now stop right there. So does that have do your other places have a room, community room, or whatever you want to call it, where
No.
the residents can come? So in other words, you don't provide that amenity.
Not in the community that I'm referencing here in the pictures, and not in the community that we're talking about tonight. No. And a part of that is because some of the challenges that home buyers have right now, in addition to the interest rates, is qualifying for the loan based on their current income. So when we add more amenities to the neighborhood, those are things that get added to the cost for the homeowner. And so oftentimes we find with our first-time home buyers, the more amenities we put in there, the higher the HOA cost is. And then oftentimes people can't afford to live there. So this was a conscious decision in terms of wanting to provide quality housing, but not loading up the community with so many fees that it becomes an imposition in terms of trying to actually qualify for the loan. These neighborhoods, because they're townhomes, the grounds are the lawn, the common area is all maintained by the homeowners association. So that's already a fee that these home buyers will have to pay toward their HOA. So if we added a pool, or if we added a big clubhouse that needs to, that has bills associated with it, that does just burden the homeowners further.
But a two-car garage, and I know that we're probably beating a dead horse at this point, but a two-car garage is as standard as 2 bathrooms.
Absolutely.
It's hard to sell a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home at $200,000 or more. And so a 2-car garage, that's just basic. That's not luxury. A 3 or 4 would be, as you well know, but a 2-car garage is just standard.
He's correct.
Well, oftentimes the people that are purchasing here, again, they're first-time home buyers. They're not used to having a garage. They're used to living in an apartment, or they're living with their parents. And generally, if they're living with their parents, their car is out on their driveway. So this is allowing them to have a space where they can park at least one car inside. and as well fit 2 cars at a minimum in their driveway, right in front of their house.
I
Well,
know they
and
can park on the street, and you said that there were sidewalks. So when you leave the footprint of of the driveway, is that where the sidewalk begins and then the street parking, or will pedestrians have to navigate around the cars that are parked on the
Exactly.
street?
Mm-hmm.
no, ma'am, so you'll have your garage and then you'll have your driveway where the vehicles will be parking for 2 cars, one on each side. So that's a width. And then there will be a sidewalk, which is outside the street. So, and there'll be a beauty strip. That's how the standard detail and for residential development, there'll be a sidewalk and then grass strip. They call it a beauty strip. And then you'll have your curb and your street. So if you're walking on the sidewalk, you won't have to
To
be
navigate.
impeded. Or yeah.
Yeah,
The only-
okay.
right.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
June, I know you said that you all are targeting people who are first-time home buyers. And I think you said the price is gonna be close to 300.
It's going to be in the 200s, but it's going to be it will be the higher 200s. So no, and when I say that, I don't mean 299.9. But we don't have the exact pricing yet. But we're going to be in that high 200 range.
Right. Well, in reality, what has happened is that the price of housing has gone up so much that income has not gone up. So you're looking at families that may be living there, and it's not going to be a person who just has one car, whatever. So that's why we're talking about this garage and the parking
Okay.
situation, because you're going to have people that are regular families because they can't afford the prices that are here now. So that's the concern.
Understand.
Are there any more questions or comments that we have? I think if you all could address the additional space for additional cars or the guest parking, that seems to be the concern, one of the concerns of the community. I know as far as the layout and all of that, that's pretty much set in stone. But if you all could address that and let us know if anything could be done.
And Ms. Davis, I will, I don't have the ability to pull it up on the screen now, but I can bring up our approved plans and give you the exact number of parking spaces that we have planned
Okay.
for the kiosk
Okay.
area.
Okay. All righty. Anybody has any more questions? Well, thank you all, Michelle, for
Thank you so much.
presenting to us to give us an idea of what we will start to see as the construction starts. I've seen the lands. As a matter of fact, I was by there today. So I've seen what I've been watching the progress of it, and we, just come back to me when you have an answer.
Absolutely, will do. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time this
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you for
All
having us.
righty. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Appreciate you.
All righty. Councilman Rowley, you gotta go, so you got 3 minutes.
Okay, couple quick updates. One of the projects that has come before Sandtown several years back is the Sandtown Village project at Camp Creek and Camilton Road. That project closed, I think it was last week or within the last 2 weeks, I've been informed. They have been meeting with the South Fulton Development Authority, looking at seeking support to offset the requirements imposed by GDOT to install the roundabout at Reynolds Road and Camilton Road. And so the Development Authority is considering infusion to help offset that because their project costs naturally didn't anticipate that in their, in their performers. So I'll keep you posted as I learn more. And I think it would be prudent in the next couple of months, maybe to have them, come before Sandtown to give an update. Okay.
Okay, okay.
A couple of things.
Deborah, may I ask her a question before she leaves?
Uh-huh.
Sure.
I haven't finished my updates.
Okay, when you finish, okay, great.
Okay. In the chat, I put a couple things I wanted to bring to your attention. The city currently is using ARPA funds to provide facade improvement grants to businesses in the city of South Fulton. These are forgivable. You don't have to pay them back. They're roughly like $10,000, but if it could be for signage or just beautifying the exterior of your space. They're taking applications through November 14th. Please share if you know any businesses based in South Fulton that need a little sprucing. Also in Sandtown Center, we have the Peach Running Company coming. It will open in December. It's going into where Batteries Plus is. If you didn't know, Batteries Plus didn't make it. And so they're going in that space. It'll be a locally owned franchise by one of our City of South Fulton residents, Rick Ross, who is not the rapper Rick Ross, but the music producer, Rick Ross.
Okay.
So what
Okay.
is it?
Peachtree Running Shoe Company. So it's for running shoes.
Okay,
I think they're one of only maybe a couple African-American owned franchises that they have in their whole inventory. And again, he's an avid runner, so he's very passionate about it. In addition, if you didn't know, he has also made some major investments in some of our schools here in South Fulton. On Friday, there's a grand opening for the Music Education Group, which is his nonprofit. They're putting a music studio and lab inside Westlake High School, and I think the grand opening is at 2 p.m. on Friday.
wow.
Last but not least, we will be going back into City Hall, our former space at 5440 Fulton Industrial Boulevard. It's undergone a renovation. We'll also be doing a tree lighting, which I'll be sending out information about it. But it's going to be a new improved City Hall. We'll have all council meetings, board meetings, and the like inside that building once we go back in. So we won't be playing gypsy. With that, I also put in the chat a call for artists. We are looking for artists to do various projects across the city, to include sculptures, paintings, the whole gamut. Please submit any credentials you have. As the city continues to invest in public art, we want to make sure those artists in our city are featured. So you can please use the link. If you know of artists, please share it. It will also be in my newsletter, my weekend edition on tomorrow. So you could just forward it. And a couple things, the Enid Road Bridge is still moving ahead in terms of the construction. We anticipated that will be completed by the end of this year, December. And Enid Road will be open back up. Looking forward to that. And last but not least, we have approved in this year's city municipal budget, the general operating budget, traffic improvements along Riverside Drive and Union Road. So again, the area that we're talking about also is going to see some road improvements and some widening at the mouth of the road as you get closer to Camelton Road. So that section between Plummer and Camelton is going to be transformed. In addition, we're going to widen on the other side going towards Westlake High School, as well as adding sidewalks. So that's a project that's budgeted, as well as Rocky Head Road, which is currently a dirt road, will become an actual road this year. And when I say this year, I mean between October 1st, which is our fiscal year, and September 30th, 2025. Though all of that will happen within that time window. And that concludes my updates, and I'll take a couple questions before I jump off.
Yes. Councilwoman, I have a question about the noise in the community. I have gone out driving, not recently, but there's a lot of racing that is occurring. It is a nuisance. It seems to be south of Camp Creek Parkway going toward the Clippendale area. I don't know, but it seems to me that we keep on hiring staff. But I'm just wondering, is everybody sitting in the office? Because it seems to me that there should be a dedicated task force to try to identify who these people are that are out here. Because I was out here before Camp Creek was extended. Okay, so this is troubling to me. They have to at the middle of the night, early in the morning, to hear races. And the other thing is anybody going to address the fact it may be a GDOT issue, but every week in the center where they have those, I don't know what you call them, stakes or not, but anyway, whatever they are, to divide, not going the direction. They keep replacing them, and they're torn down, several of them. I go in other areas where that petition that is not happening. I don't understand why it keeps happening out here. Is there anybody trying to catch the people who are doing that?
Where are you talking?
I would,
Creek?
I think she's saying, I think she's,
oh, go ahead.
Well, you said Cliftondale. What I can do is I can share that
No,
information.
I was saying that when I hear the noise, it looks like it's on Ena Road. It may be, in other words, I don't hear it. It seems like it's south of me.
Okay.
But I have gone out there in previous years when I lived here alone all the time. And I have tried to find out who is, but I can't ever find out where the vehicles are. But
Well, I would
think
take that back to Chief, because I can tell you, we've also installed a lot of cameras. So they should be able to pick up that activity. And I will ask him to come before us and talk about at our next meeting about what they're doing about it and what kind of enforcement around that. So I'll be happy to ask Chief or a designee to address us next month.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that because it's a nuisance.
Understood.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, Councilman Rao. You're 5 minutes late, but
I know. Okay.
that's 5.
Okay.
Councilwoman Gums, are you there?
I don't think she is, because we are both running from events to events. And last time I saw her, I left her in Norcross, Georgia. So I'm just saying.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or concerns? Marilyn, Harvey, anybody want to add anything?
I don't have anything. Oh.
One of the things I wanted to add and kind of talk to you all about, a lot of times when I go over to Sandtown over at the Publix, I kind of talk to the merchants. And as a matter of fact, today, I talked to the owner of the UPS store, and sometimes she is on the call, and I'm on my phone, so I can't really see if she is on the call. But what we talk about is, she asked me, is there any more development coming? What's happening in terms of housing? Where is it going? What's going on? And the reason that we have these discussions, as a matter of fact, I talked to her about this development. I pointed out that it's coming, and I talked to her about the housing development that is supposed to be coming behind Publix. I talked about the development that Councilman Rao just talked about in terms of GDOT and the roundabout and all of that. And so what she said to me was, yay, foot traffic. And so when we try to develop all of this stuff, and I know a lot of people don't like the apartments, and they don't like the townhomes and, a lot of the single family dwellings. But we have to keep in mind, if we ever gonna get to the point that we get more restaurants, sit-down restaurants, more retail conveniences and all of that, we got to make sure that we have the foot traffic to support, because that is why the Batteries Plus went through 2 owners. Um, they just didn't have the foot traffic, people going in buying the Batteries Plus. Now, the good thing is they're doing a good job of, as one retail establishment leaves or whatever, they are quickly adding someone else in there. And I'm glad to hear there is a sneaker place coming or running shoe place coming there. But we always have to keep in mind when we're trying to do all of this to improve the community, in order for retail establishments to stay and have longevity in the neighborhood, is that we got to keep the foot traffic high. Publix, when we did the Carter development, the apartments, they sent a letter to us. They are excited as well when we have a little bit more density, and it makes sense to put the density kind of close to the retail establishments so that they can get the foot traffic. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. We can do everything we can to try to enhance all of these developments. D.R. Horton was one that has been on the books for a long time, and they did do some improvements in terms of the exterior. I agree with everybody in terms of the parking spaces and all of that. And if we can keep pushing them, I hope that they will give us some leeway on the number of spaces. But I just want you guys to know the retailers in our area, just talk to them and get a feel for how their business is going, and then and you'll understand that they are looking for that foot traffic as well, so that they can stay afloat and be profitable in the neighborhood and be here for a long time to come. So just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions or anything like that?
I have a question. What is the
Go ahead.
development? I'm sorry. What is the development that Councilwoman Roll mentioned that's on Campbellton and Camp Creek? It's called the Village or something. Is that
Well,
just residential?
It's several. It's a commercial piece that's gonna face Camp Creek. And I don't know if you were on the call. The representative to us was Akeem Hilliard, and they presented to us last year, I think. And so there is a commercial frontage, and then behind it, it will be single family and it will be apartments as well. And so Camp Creek will not allow you to have any type of frontage road. You can't have a frontage road on there. So that development is going to, the entrance and exit will be off of Camilton Road, and between Camilton Road, Reynolds Road, and Wallace. And so one of the things, this is what has brought DOT to the table, because these developments are what they call direct regional impact, DRI developments. And so DOT has come to the table to look at the whole intersection of Camp Creek and Camilton, and also at Reynolds. And what the developer is planning to do is to put a roundabout in that area so that people can get in and out of this development. And what it ended up being, and I hope I get this amount right. Okay, so something like 20 million or some ungodly amount of money that is going to take to do that roundabout. And so they were seeking funds, and what I gather from her today is that the developer is going to put up some funds, but also GDOT is going to do some as well to get that development started and work on that work on that roundabout. And so hopefully that is going to kind of keep the traffic flowing better than what it is right now. Because if you go up to going to right there Reynolds and Wallace and all of that at a certain time of day, traffic is really backed up.
And then, Debbie, there's always an accident at Reynolds Road. I know.
Yeah,
I went up
but
there
you
last
can't get
week
out.
and I couldn't get out. I
This
had to back up and turn around and go out the other way, other end of
Wa-
Reynolds.
Wallace is blinding and also Reynolds. So hopefully they've been working on whatever they're gonna do there, the roundabout or whatever, for over a year. And it was all about getting the money, and it sounds like they have. So that's the development. Um Ms. Hill asked that question,
Yes, I
right?
did. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
that's the development that is coming. It was approved last year, maybe a year before, but they've just been trying to work out all the details. And that's gonna help with that will help with the retail retail viability as well. And hopefully out of all of this, y'all, we will get some type of sit down restaurant
I
like
hope so.
like we've been trying to get for a while. I did talk to Hakeem about the potential retail space or people who are interested. And um he mentioned a couple of specialty um, grocers that are interested in that corner. And so they got a lot of, and they're got a lot of people that are interested in that area. And I think one of the we had some, I think Chick-fil-A had mentioned, but they were interested. But you can't have from what I understand, you can't have anything that you drive through in that development. Like a drive-through rest, you can't have that. So it's either gonna have to be, you have to get out your car and go in, but you can't have a drive-through thing there. So they're working on it, and hopefully they will get some good tenants, uh, commercial people in there. But we'll see. With that, y'all, go ahead.
I was gonna say, being a parent of a high schooler, I think that what needs to also be looked at is that the more residential that we build in this area, that's going to impact our school system.
Yeah.
And that is Mr. Jarvis up at Westlake has already gotten, a lot of kids out of the school because they was in the wrong area. But still what's happening is people are moving in and it's impacting it more, which is going to impact our children's education. And I just think that that's all fine and dandy. All these things are coming over here, but we also need to keep in mind that since we are doing restaurants and all that, it would be nice to have some type of family entertainment in our area, to be considered also. And because it's nothing to do. I mean, the theater up at Camp Creek, that's one close area, but even in this area, like an arcade for the kids, you can go down to the Epic Center and all that. But in this area here, everything seems to be housing, apartments, housing, senior high rise, and grocery stores and all that. But I would like to see a little bit more focus put on family oriented interests also, because it would be great to have something in this particular area that families that even in other areas can come to.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely. We do
yes.
agree with you 100%. And
And
hopefully,
We went,
with Ms. Warren on the call, who is our Fulton County school representative, like she was saying earlier, they keep up with the numbers. They keep up with development in the area to make sure that eventually we may have to get another high school here. I don't know, as we continue to grow. And but they do pay attention to that, and she's well versed on watching the numbers and keeping up with it to make sure that as we grow, our school system grows as well. And so it won't have such an overwhelming effect with Westlake. We've been dealing with Westlake being overcrowded for a very long time as we have, developed the area. And I do know, I think one year they had to reassign about 250 kids because it was overwhelmed. So that is something that we do pay attention to. And as far as and it's things for our students, we have had an opportunity to there once was going to be a bowling alley in Sandtown Center, but the economy was such that the developer decided to back away from it. We're constantly hoping, instead of this housing development, we were looking at trying to put something behind the public. So it is first and foremost on our minds so that we can have activities for our children. But we just have to get the developer that wants to do that. And I think as we continue to grow in terms of housing and all of that, that will eventually come as well. Marilyn, I'm sorry, did you want to add something? You're on mute, Marilyn. You're on mute.
Okay. We've been trying to get these people to come out here and put some other restaurants, the whole 9 yards. And the thing was at first is that we didn't have enough rooftops. We didn't have apartments. We didn't have this. So now we got apartments, rooftops, townhomes, and we still haven't seen anybody to come out here to put down a sit-down restaurant. So those are things that we have been asking for years.
Yeah. And I think it's unfortunate. It took us 15 years to get the roundabout. And
Actually,
it's
20.
unfortunate.
In 20.
Yeah, but we got it. So I think if we keep moving along and the economy keeps going well and we just keep grinding at this, we will eventually get those things that we are asking for. It's slowly coming. It's unfortunate Chick-fil-A is trying to get on every corner. And it's coming. I do believe it will come. Yay.
Madam President,
Yes.
it's Doug. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm great too. It's wonderful to be with you and so many of my friends from 25 years back, I think, Marilyn, something like that. I mean, you don't look a day older, but it's been 25 years. But I see it's kind of late. Thanks for letting me speak. I have two quick things. One is I held what I call a beauty contest among developers for a site that I have at the edge of Sandtown. It's right where the Mannheim auto auction, that corner at the corner of Campbellton, Fulton Industrial Boulevard, and Cascade Palmetto Highway. It's a piece of property I've owned with partners for over 20 years. And we are proposing a downzoning from a 500,000 square feet of commercial space and six.
You're breaking up, Doug. You're frozen.
But can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we are having, because it is on the edge of Sandtown, it officially is in Councilwoman Gumb's district, but it's right at the edge of the commercial edge of Sandtown, also at the commercial edge of Cliftondale, at the corner of State Highway and a national highway. So anyway, we are sponsoring with this developer that won what I call the beauty contest, a caravan next Wednesday beginning at 1 o'clock and ending about 3:30 possibly, to tour his developments that would give the community an idea of what's being proposed for this down zoning at that location. The invitation went out to leadership in Sandtown for that reason, and as well as to Cliftondale and to members of the city council to be on that bus and see what this developer has to show and what he intends to do on that site. So that's number one. The bus will be leaving from the Poplar Springs Methodist Church, which is on Old Cascade, just off of Cascade before Fulton Industrial Boulevard. That's where the cars can park in the church parking lot, and then bus will up and leave them off. So that's the one thing. Anybody who wants to be a part of that, you're more than welcome to get in touch with me or with the president, and I'm sure she will get in touch with me and let me know that you would like to be on that caravan and on that tour. Number two, real quickly, we met, as you know, about a month ago with another developer that I brought to the Sandtown Center community, and members of the Homeowners Association, including the president and others on this call, were part of that discussion. I want to announce that I have decided to have a parting of the ways with that particular developer. In this case, it was Lennar. We had a mutual agreement. They were not eager to live up to the ideas that were made at that meeting, all ideas of which I thought were very positive and very appropriate. So we agreed to have a divorce, and I am going to now reach out to other townhome developers, or we have townhome zoning there that's looking for a developer, and single family detached developer to bring something that hopefully the Sandtown community as a whole and Sandtown Center community will find to be attractive and acceptable. So that's the news. We have a tour next week of a very exciting project. At least in my mind, it is a great developer. He won the contest against other very talented developers. And the fact that we are now open for another beauty contest to replace the Lennar people who I asked to leave the negotiations, and they agreed. I said, I just don't think you are going to be producing the product that I'm going to be proud of and that the community is going to be proud of. So in a nutshell, that's what I have to report. I thank you very much for the opportunity. It's good to be with you.
Well, thank you, Doug. I did get the invitation from Doug. I do have it. If there's anybody that want to attend, I'll gladly forward it to you. I will not be able to attend as I am leaving to go visit my mom in Louisiana on Sunday, but I'll be happy to forward that email because it says RSVP by tomorrow. And so if there's anyone who wants it, I'll be glad to send it to you.
The reason for haste, Deborah, is that they have to order the proper size vehicle, whether it's going to be a bus or a train or a truck or a Volkswagen. We don't know. So
I get it.
Okay.
I think I heard somebody else say something.
This is Ivory, Debbie. I have to check my schedule, but I might be interested in it.
I'll send it to you. I'll send
Thank
you the
you.
email. All righty.
Yes, this is Pastor Chris McNary.
Uh-huh.
And I'm so thankful to be on the meeting this evening. As you know, I actually live in Gwinnett County, but I spend most of my awake time in Fulton County there in the city of South Fulton with the church. And so we are watching around the development there at Campbellton Road and Camp Creek with much anticipation because foot traffic is important for churches as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the pieces that will be important for Decision Point Ministries' future. But what I wanted to quickly raise is that this is the last meeting of the association prior to Thanksgiving holidays. And I just want to raise that there's a need, and this is something for going forward in the future. There's a need for collaboration versus competition. And there's a need also for understanding three key elements that are being kind of left out in the Sandtown community when it comes to addressing hunger and security. One, of course, is students, as we talk about schools. And then the other key one is the working poor. This is a demographic segment that is increasing in number. And there are some people who could fall through the cracks before the start of the next calendar year. And then the third one are our seniors, that there are some seniors in need. I raised this because we had planned to do 50 Thanksgiving boxes, and we are being already, without even promoting it, we are begin getting calls from people about not being able to get on certain other lists for food baskets. And without collaboration, there could be people getting 8 and 9 food boxes and others getting none. And other counties in the metro are doing good at this. Everything I've been a part of in the last 45 years, that's the best way to approach it, is to have a collaborative model versus an independent competitive model. And so my ask this evening is that anyone that wants to donate toward these additional boxes, 25 turkeys that we want to add into the boxes, you can call the church, or either you can go to our registry. We have a registry set up with both Amazon and Walmart, and you can actually have it delivered directly to the church. We'll be doing the distribution on November the 23rd. That's a Saturday. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Pastor McNary. We will get engaged with that with you. And is there anything else from anyone?
Hey, Debbie, Stephanie, I wanted to mention about the clothing and toy drive we'll be doing in conjunction with the City of South Fulton Fire Department on December 7th at the Publix Shopping Center. This will be our 3rd year doing it. So look out for the flyer to be coming to your email mailbox, and start planning to donate clothing, toys. They especially need coats for children. And the fire marshal donates these to the families that are living in hotels in the city of South Fulton. So come out and support. That will be December 7th from 9:30 to 12:30 at the Publix Sandtown Crossing Shopping Center.
All righty.
Could I say one thing?
Go ahead.
Since we're talking about organizations, I have an organization for grandparents raising grandchildren and kids. We are one of the fastest growing population of caretakers in the U.S. We save our government billions of dollars because the children do not go into foster care. We as parents, we raise our children. A lot of the grandparents are on fixed income like Social Security. Some of them can't work because of their health. And some are like me, 73 years old, still working and still raising a teenager and that type of thing. But I have a nonprofit, Each One Teach One Together. I've just been approved with Toys for Tots. We have our Christmas giveaway at the Cascade Library on 23rd.
Uh-oh, you're breaking up.
Did someone say something?
You're breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you? Okay, so I said we're in partnership with the Department of Family and Children Services, and I get referrals from them all the time. But that are grandparents and kinship parents raising the grandkids. So we are looking for all sorts of support ourselves. My thing is, I've been trying to find a church that we could have our support group meetings at. And I'm a little disappointed. But I'm not going to give up. That we can be able to have these support group meetings. So right now we're doing virtual, but I wanted to let you all know in your church or your community, if you come across a grandparent raising a grandchild or a kinship or fictive kin parent, that you can refer them to me and I will assist them in trying to find resources to help them with their children and also with their self-care or whatever it is that they may need.
Sister, not to interrupt you, but I don't think my church got a request for a meeting. We would gladly host you.
Okay, well,
Precision
look,
Point
I know your
Ministries.
church. I know your church. I hadn't made it up there, but I sure will, Reverend Pastor. I sure
Okay,
would.
well, you need to talk to me.
I sure will. My name is Deborah Suzette Brown. It's Each One Teach One Together. And if you go to my website, you'll see the work that we do, mental health wise and everything. But I will definitely be in touch with you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Hopefully you all can make it work.
Yes, yes.
All righty. Well, with that, you all have a wonderful holiday. If we'll be back after Thanksgiving on December the 5th. That will be our last meeting of the year. And I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a safe Thanksgiving. And please enjoy your families. And you all have a great evening.
Safe travel.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
Same to
you.
you. Same to you.
All right.
Happy
All right.
Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Same
Same
to
to you,
you.
Doug.